Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and today I'm going to preview this Saturday's heavyweight title fight, a unification fight between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker. And I'm also going to recap or Monday Morning Coach the Dillian White versus Lucas Brown fight that happened this past Saturday. Now, we couldn't get a preview video out for that. That's why I call it a Monday Morning Coach, because I'm only going to give my post-fight thoughts on it. Rob couldn't join me for this one. He's out in Vegas right now enjoying his birthday. Happy birthday to Rob. And he will join me again for the recap of Joshua versus Parker. And let me get right into it. So in Anthony Joshua, we have a unified heavyweight champion who is looking to hold all but one of the belts in the heavyweight division when he takes on Joseph Parker, who holds the WBO title. Now, we know the other one, the WBC, is held by Deontay Wilder. Not going to talk about him that much in this video because he's not fighting. So, in Joshua, we have a big, strong, powerful, well-schooled athlete who is pretty much the face of the division right now. He took out the last kingpin, Vladimir Klitschko, in emphatic fashion in his second to last fight about a year ago this time. So we have a lot to look at with him. We have a lot of promise with him. And he is the prohibitive favorite going into this fight. In his foil, Joseph Parker, we have a guy who has good hand speed. He has determination. He is the first New Zealand heavyweight champion. And he is looking to upset the apple cart and become the unified champ. Like I said, Joshua holds the WBA and the IBF. Parker has the WBO. So, how do they match up against each other? Parker is someone who has, like I said, good hand speed. He puts good combinations together, has a pretty good uppercut. He throws his left hook kind of weird, where he like whips his wrist instead of picking his elbow up. It scores, but it just looks scary to me. I'm going to be honest. Like, it looks like he's going to break his wrist sometimes. But he lands it. He lands it in the scoring manner. By the time it lands, it's knuckles to face and not side of the glove to face, where that's not really a scoring blow. So it works for him. Like I said, he can reel off combinations really fast, and he moves around the ring very well. He can move in a manner that can get him to where he needs to be and then reset his feet to get into a position to punch very quickly. I'll bring up why that's going to be important later on. Also, he has a good jab, but he can sometimes leave his hands in places that leave his defenses unresponsible, whereas someone can punch with him and land decent counters. Now, when he does this, he has a very good penchant to roll with punches, whereas when he lands, he will turn his head and take some of the force off of the punch. And unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of that because it takes a very discerning eye to notice that. So when you're judging a fight, it can look like you're still taking punishment if you don't notice that this fighter is rolling with a punch rather than actually taking the full brunt force of it. So it's something that takes a very keen eye to notice. And when you're in the elite level and you're starting to leave things to the hands of the judges because you're at a higher skill level, those things can cost you rounds. So hopefully he is learning to keep his hands up where they need to be around that chin when he's throwing his other punches and not roll so much. Like I said, when you get to those elite levels. In Joshua, we have someone, like I said, he's got about 3 or 4 inches of height. They probably weigh about the same, but Joshua is just built a lot differently to Parker. He's heavily muscled, very explosive, powerful guy, Parker definitely has the hand speed advantage. He can reel off combinations faster than Anthony Joshua does. But Anthony Joshua's punches land with a lot more consequence than Joseph Parker's does. So that is going to be something to look at, because like I said, Parker can be punched with because of his holes in his defense. And Anthony Joshua has shown that he can punch with his opponents. Also, when I talked about the way Parker moves around the ring, it's very fluid. Sometimes he moves straight back a little too much, but he can do it and close distance pretty swiftly. Joshua, on the other hand, bounces around the ring. And the reason he does this is because he is always in position to punch. So he can take a bounce step back, still able to counter with any punch he decides to throw. If he wants to throw that hook, if he wants to throw a right hand uppercut, it doesn't matter because his legs are still in position when he moves around the ring. No matter which direction he goes, he bounces because his feet are always in position to throw a punch. This can be very bad for Parker, because if one of those snap reflexes happens and Joshua throws a counter, it's going to land with full effectiveness because, like I said, he's always in position to punch. He doesn't have to move, then reset his feet, then throw the punch, or throw a punch off balance because his feet aren't in position to punch. Sort of like what you saw in Parker's last fight versus Huey Fury, where Fury could only really throw a jab because he was never in a good position to punch because of the way he moved in the ring. It looked nice, but you could see him always crossing his feet. You could see him never having his feet set to quite throw anything other than a flicking jab that didn't really have much authority on it. So Parker was able to encroach his space very often and get in. He's not going to be able to do that with Joshua because of that foot placement that I just talked about. So with Joshua being bigger, more powerful, more technically sound, this is looking like another Anthony Joshua victory to keep building that hype train towards the fighter that I mentioned in the beginning, the WBC title holder, Deontay Wilder. So they still have to fight. We can see what happens. Like I said, I think Parker can give Joshua a few rounds, but I think no more than 7 or 8. He's shown a good chin, but like I said, the ability to punch with somebody, there's a difference between getting punched by Huey Fury, Andy Ruiz, and Carlos Takam, and getting hit by Anthony Joshua. Big difference. And I think that difference is going to be shown. Like I said, 7 to 8 rounds. I think this fight's going to be over. And until that point, Parker's going to make a good account of himself. Like I said, he's going to land some decent combinations. He works the body well. He has a good uppercut. So he will score against Joshua. Unfortunately, I don't think any of those punches are going to deter Joshua from staying on his game plan and finishing the fight in about 8 rounds. So we're going to rewind a bit and talk about this last Saturday where Dillian Whyte faced Lucas Browne in a WBC title eliminator. And this one got real ugly real quick. It was a fight that pretty much on our side of the pond, as they say, in the U.S., didn't have a lot of buzz. But it got picked up last minute by HBO, and so we were able to see it live, which was good because Rob and I, we just like to watch all fighting. So Dillian Whyte, who has gone 6-0 since losing to Anthony Joshua, I think it was 2015, I think is when they fought. But he's shown great improvement since then. He was a little wild back then. He showed a lot more technique. His punches were crisp in this fight. And he hit Lucas Browne with some bombs all night long. And you have to credit Browne with having a good chin to take those. Unfortunately, he had nothing to offer in return. His punches were very slow. It looked like he was pushing them at times. Whyte was able to get out of the way easily. And it looked like a star-making performance from Whyte, especially on this side of the planet where we don't see him much. The only thing we really knew him about outside of, us being hardcore fans, was that he fought Anthony Joshua. His name he'd been coming up along the ranks before then, but that was the fight that drew the most attention over here. And since then, he's fought Derek Chisora. He's fought quite a few guys that have given him more attention and also more seasoning to become the fighter we saw on Saturday. So he opened up a gigantic cut on the face of Brown with a vicious jab. He threw excellent body punches, got full torque. You could see him using those hips as he threw those punches, so they were landing with authority. That right hand was cracking Brown every chance he got, snapping that head almost to the back of his shoulders. I mean, it was a great performance from White. Then the left hook finish was pretty scary. He once again punched in a great combination, caught Brown at the end of that hook, full body torque, turned that punch over, textbook. Brown was down and out before he hit the canvas, and everybody knew it. So he's now, I believe Deontay Wilder's mandatory. So that will be an interesting fight to happen while we wait on Parker and Joshua, which, is going down this weekend, but they probably won't fight Wilder next, seeing as how he also fought as well. They're looking to try to build that fight to be the biggest fight it can be, and I don't think it's going to happen this year. We all would like it to, but I don't think it's going to be that way. So that's it, guys. Y'all know I like to try to keep these pretty short when Rob's not with me. There's not a lot of back and forth banter to go on and different viewpoints. So listening to my voice for a long time, I don't even want to do that. I'm going to be honest with you. But thank you all for watching. Like I said, Rob will be back for the recap. If you have any thoughts on either fight, leave them down below. Hit us up on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all Capital of Combat, Google+, same thing. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe, hit the bell icon. As we get our schedules together, which we've been trying to do for a long time, we'll be able to get those videos a little bit more consistently. We've also had some we've just had some life things happen that we'll talk about when we're together. Because they deserve that. And we'll see you guys in the recap. So until then, thanks for watching.
And you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
The Black Street Fighter.